Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in today and welcome to the International Women Entrepreneurs virtual session. My name is Cardella and I'm your host. The goal of our show is to invite women entrepreneurs, both successful and striving ones, locally and globally, to share their journey with us and, of course, to talk about their business. I am always excited to hear journey of different individuals of different backgrounds and draw inspiration from their stories. Today, I am delighted to introduce the author of the book, The 15 Lights into My Path. Please join me in welcoming Rowena Aggabao. Hi, Rowena. Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you, Cardella. Good afternoon to everyone. And it's a pleasure to be the speaker, the invited guest for today. I'll be more than happy and I'll be generous in sharing all the information that I know in relation to writing a book and, of course, sharing also my journey as a writer and as an entrepreneur. So thank you, Cardella, for the wonderful introduction. So we can now start with the with the talk, like the journey of me being a writer. Prior to the introduction on how I started my journey being an author, I'd like to briefly introduce what I do very quickly, and I'll be sharing some bits of the journey of my book and being an author as well. And also to introduce the business that I do, I'm basically the managing partner of A&R Partners Ltd, and it's based in the UAE, and we also have an office in the Philippines. And yeah, we are a business consultancy, so we basically help clients set up their companies in any jurisdiction suitable to their requirement. And just to give you a brief view of that, and that's the core service that we provide. And to start off, the details are here and also the contact information. And now we begin with my journey as a writer and how it all started as far as how I became who I am today. I came to Dubai as an Asian woman trying to make a mark in the midst of economic crisis that was in 2008 and 2009. So you more or less can imagine the difficulty that I came here with just the plan to build a family, to be with my husband, with a pocket full of dreams, and only in that packet will be willpower and determination, nothing else. I came here without relatives. I came here without friends. So I came here, it's just my husband. And I had to look for a job during those times when it's extremely difficult because that was 2008, 2009. So there were adjustments that I need to make. Like we had to share rooms with other people, not just us. I had to take the bus. I had to go through all those experiences to achieve what I want. And luckily, I would consider myself as lucky in those stages because I was able to find work in a short period of time despite the crisis. And I didn't dwell on the idea that this is not what I have. I dwelled more on the idea that I have the willpower, I am determined, and I took the high road. I hang on to the belief that through hard work, dedication, and perseverance, and with an ounce of luck, I will make it. So these are all the motivating factor when I was starting my journey in the UAE as a young professional. Because back home, I already have a very stable job, but it's because I worked with the Supreme Court back in the Philippines. So It's a very lucrative position that I left. But the reason of me leaving that behind is for us to build a family, which I believe is more important at the end of the day. That small sacrifice, I would say, was the turning point of my life and who I am today as a mom and as a wife, which is the reason basically why I came to the UAE. And that all began that journey of struggles and how to start fresh out of nothing, like from scratch. I had to find it. So I believe that life is full of possibilities with so much to offer, but sometimes you need to find it. So if there are no doors, you have to make one. Don't settle for the windows, because if you can have the door, why go for the window after all? And there is no, and if there are no opportunities, you have to create one, because life is what you make it. And that's what I did. I just dwelled on determination, on willpower, on dreams that I believe I will make it. I didn't, there were struggles and ultimate sacrifices that I had to give up. But if you want to be that person you have been dreaming for a long time to be, then there's no doubt you can make it. And the story behind the journey also led me to writing a book. But I have a personal mantra which all this time, like since I was young, I believe that I should be doing, and I would like to share it with so many women out there. I call it Lord. So live life to the fullest. We only have one chance to live. So it's that single moment, because life is temporary. It could end tomorrow. It can end in a glimpse. You don't know. So there should be no backing off. If you can do it now, do it, and do it to your best maximum level of how do you call this? You give your best shot. You reach for the goal and reach for the target. And of course, it's always important to obey rules wherever you are. You obey laws. And then I believe in respecting others, regardless of who are these people. Others would mean like you treat people fairly. You respect your neighbor who drives a Lamborghini in the same manner that you respect a neighbor who drives a bicycle. So there should be no, like Ashley, I think is trying to join. Yeah, okay. Hi, Ashley. Good morning. Thank you for joining. And I was going back to the respect. It's important that you treat people fairly, regardless of who or what they are in the society. And I believe in dreaming big. Like, don't settle for less when you can settle for more. Dream big. It's very, very important that you achieve your goal to the maximum. And as an author, I would like to let you know what inspiration or what inspired me to write. Um, apart apart from the belief of my mother that I can be someone someday, he knew from the very beginning. She rather knew from the very beginning that I can achieve more and I can be greater than what I believe in. I'm capable of reaching that. So she rather is the motivator that I've always look up to now, which I lost her at a young age. Like before even I got married, I lost her already. But she has been the strong pillar of hope for me to always go on and pursue my dreams. And it's also partly like apart from the people that I was really inspired to write this, my family and my friends. It was during the time when we were in lockdown, like they declared UAE to be in lockdown, that I finally found the time and I realized like life is really temporary. With COVID and with the pandemic coming in, you realize there's so many realizations, like what if it will end now? Have I like appreciated the people who were there, who have inspired me to be who I am today? So that's the turning point actually. So as an author, like in this journey called life, we meet people who will create impact to our existence and who will light up our feet. So we encounter them as we travel the path. And I am me because of the 15 admirable people who led me to be where I am today, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So we all go through challenging times, and I'm fortunate that when I was in the midst of crossroads, there were people who guided me as my lights. I will forever be beyond grateful to them. And these people are family members, inclusive. Like I've discussed this extensively in the book. So it's my mom, my dad, two friends in the UAE. Chitra is one of them. Actually, she's part of the book. Um, a mentor in the UAE. My in-laws, two grandmothers. So these are people who created an impact on what who I am today. So now that we are in a pool of uncertainties, doubts, and fears, my hope and my prayers for my readers through my book to find their lights will also lead them to the right direction. Because tomorrow is never promised and life is temporary. And no matter how difficult life may be, always remember there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Just move forward. Remember to live life to the fullest. Laugh hard until it hurts and love like there's no tomorrow. So the book is basically based on all these realizations that I have appreciated when we were during this pandemic, that we are all going through such tough times that you need this. You have to say thank you and appreciate all the people in your life who have always been there to help you out. And the book is actually a memoir. Okay, it's a personal reflection, my personal reflection on family, life, love, pain, gratitude, death, joy, resilience, friendship, and faith, all into one. So it's all those situations that I've been through in relation to how I started as a mother, young mother, like riding the bus while pregnant, because at that time there's still no car. So it's all appreciating the silver lining as you go through that, and life in itself, when you not all what you want eventually you'll achieve it. So you just don't stop believing, and don't stop reaching the goal that you want. You don't stop reaching for the stars, because as long as you're alive there's always purpose, there's always reason to go on and fight. And gratitude, as far as giving thanks and appreciating all those moments and situations where you should be able to appreciate even the smallest thing, like waking up in the morning, talking to your better half, to your husband, to your wife, or for all those male listeners, if there'll be those who would be listening, talking to your children, hugging them. All these special moments are very special, and we tend to forget this as because fast paced, how life is so much it's running too fast, that we tend to forget even the smallest experiences that we're supposed to appreciate. And this is actually the book cover, and it's available on Amazon, Payhip, Power Talk with her channel, and her website also. And I'll be sharing some information on how to write. If you want to start writing your book, these are a few tips you can. I want to share with you for future purposes and references, so that if you have time now, because of these current conditions during this pandemic, we have more time for ourselves. We have more time to reflect. So maybe if you want to write, then Find the subject that interests you. So these are my tips, which I want to share. When you want to write a book, find a subject that interests you, because it's very important when you write the book. You should be able to keep the ideas freely flowing, freely coming in, so that when you write, it's going to be, you know how you'll start the subject and end it in a manner that you'd like to end it. So it's very important that this is something you'd like to do. It's highly dependent on what interests you, maybe sports, maybe leisure, maybe other interests, like Renu here designs. So like for a designer like Renu, she can probably discuss about the clothing line that she creates for other women. And also, you can probably, if you're into sports, then maybe you can discuss about your journey while you were starting off as a player. All these things, it highly, if you're a speaker, or maybe if you're a doctor, so it's all dependent on the interest. But this subject, it must be something that you really want to write about, because unless it's something that you like, then you'd not be able to start and finish it off. So research is very important also, especially because there are two types. It's either fiction or non-fiction. So if it's fiction, then definitely you need to create something out of it. It's highly dependent on how you'd like it to come out. But if it's non-fiction, then it must be really purely on research. Like if you quote someone, make sure that is actually the correct quotation. Like if it's a medical research, or if you're probably a doctor, it's required that the facts that there are actually true, because there are readers, your target readers will know whether those information that you have written in your book are actually precise and correct. So it's very important also that you make an outline, because the outline will identify how many chapters of the book you'd like to write. Like what do you intend to do first? So what is the second chapter? What will you do? What will you write in the next one? So these things you need to create, so for you to have an idea how the book will look like. And the outline basically gives you also an overview on how the book will be presented to your readers, cover to cover. So that's very important. And create a strong introduction. This is actually, you need to write in a manner that the moment the reader will read your book, it will keep the reader engaged, because the introduction must be very strong to keep them glued on reading the book. So that's very important, that you catch their attention immediately. Okay. And then coherent flow of thoughts from start to finish. This is also one of the many tips, because there should be a flow of thoughts, like from the time they open the book, there has to be a correlation from the first chapter to the last chapter. So there should be a continuous flow of thoughts when you start to read the book, like on a reader's point of view. And establish a routine. Like for a writer, you have to create a time where your thoughts are fresh. So like in my case, for me to be able to write, I read it in early morning, so that it's quiet, it's peaceful. There are no interference, because this is important for you to concentrate on the points that you when you write, especially. Okay, and then you stay motivated. This is very important, because you cannot start it off and then in the middle you will not be happy finishing it. So it has to be continuous. The flow of your you have to you have to keep yourself inspired all the time to make sure that you finish the book from start. and then complete it up to how you want to complete it. So there has to be a drive within that you have to finish it, and you there because there will be moments while you write it that there will be interruptions. There will be moments when like you'd be extremely busy that you will there's not too much time already to go on and continue with it. But that's important. You have to stay motivated. And also, it's important you set a target to complete the book, because if you don't have a target, then you will not be able to complete it. You have to be disciplined in that aspect, because unless you have like a timeline, then you will tell yourself that okay, I can finish it off tomorrow. That's not gonna be the case, because you'll never finish if you will not be disciplined, and you'll never finish if you will not tell yourself that I need to really do this now and finish it now. So this is important that there's a strong drive within to complete the book. And another important tip would be don't rush the final chapter, because the final chapter is the ending of your book, and you don't want your readers to be disengaged. You keep them engaged all the time, because there will be no way they're gonna complete it, and you will not achieve your purpose as an author if your book is not from start to finish is not engaging. So make sure that the final chapter, if you have missed some things on the other chapters of your book, then it's important that on the final chapter you'll put everything in there. So these are the last chance for you to do the retouch, and the last chance to make a mark as an author. So the last chapter must be extremely good, in the same way that there's a strong introduction. It should be as strong as the introduction. So start to finish should be an engaging portion of your book. But don't forget the flow of thoughts from the beginning to end. And then it's important also that you ask someone to proofread and encourage honest feedback. Because if it's just you who's going to be reading the book, then it's going to be monotonous, and then you will not be able maybe to find the points like spelling mistakes, you have placed in there a different exclamation, like a mark that's not supposed to be there, or you forgot a comma. So all these things will be seen by another person. So you have to ask someone, you have to engage the assistance of a proofreader, or maybe ask someone also to read it for you, and then encourage them to give you an honest feedback. Because that in that way you will know where during the writing of the book, or when you were actually writing the book, you might have missed some points in there. So it's important that you get the feedback from others, and the more that they tell you that this is you have to do something about this, so listen to the feedbacks. So the more feedbacks you get, it will be better for you, because these are points you need to improve on, and you're not always right at the end of the day. So it's good to acknowledge the flaws while you're writing it, so that it's going to be better when it comes out. And read again and again. That's very important, because you don't want to be selling something, or your readers, apart from the commercial standpoint, you don't want the readers or other people to judge you in a manner that that criticism will not be good for you at the end of the day. So you, as much as possible, you limit that by coming up with a good product, because criticisms are good, but somehow it's always better if you have a good positive review once the book comes out. And the side on the publication, it's all highly up to you. You can always do your research. You can do self-publication. That's one thing you can do. You can just release also an ebook in the meantime. So it's all about timing. See yourself ready to engage a publication services, then you can do that. It's highly up to you. Or you can also just finance maybe and self-publish, and or just and take the services of other providers for this reason. So that's also possible. And the last would be you advertise or promote before and after publication. Take for some, like in my case, this is also my mistake, and I'd like you to learn from that mistake, and I'm sharing it to you for purposes, if you want to write a book someday. And it's always better to promote it in advance, like before you plan to release or launch the book. You have to advertise it maybe like 3 months prior to the actual launch, because these will make everyone aware of the book that you're planning to publish. So it's always good to do advance rather than doing it late. So if you have connections, make use of the social media. The social media out there is all there's so many that you can choose from. LinkedIn is there, Instagram is there, so Facebook also is there. So it's a very powerful tool. It's a bit like all these social media, they're all powerful means to promote your book. Not like in the past that you like have to pay someone to advertise it. So now you can do it in all these mediums. So like if you have any questions on the tips, you can just let me know. Yeah, I asked, he was trying to join a while back, but yeah, if you have questions, then just let me know. Okay. And I'll be sharing some few points apart from the book. So I'll just be sharing some few points on my life as an entrepreneur before we wrap up with questions after. I'll do it as quick as I can, because I know everyone is busy also with their chores when it's weekend, so it's basically for the family. As an entrepreneur, like I learned the hard way when I was just starting. I was lucky enough to be employed in a law firm in the UAE for a couple of years. Then I joined the biggest corporate service provider in the Middle East and MENA region. That's where I'm humbly sharing now the experience that I started also from scratch. I didn't become the head or the head of the department or the manager immediately. I started as an administrator, but in the law firm I've worked with, I was already the consultant and the trademark lawyer for the Richmond portfolio. This is the IT firm I worked with prior to joining the second one. So I handled the Richmond file, which is basically the Cartier Richmond Mont Blanc trademarks. So that's the first job. Then after I was part of it, and I joined another corporate service provider, which I was able to build that team from scratch to a bigger department. So it became an international department. And the turning point actually of that being me as an entrepreneur now is when people, especially in the corporate world, like are more focusing on profit rather than people. When we forget that the most important asset of a company is its people, that's the turning point. When they told me and sat down with me that the profit must be this, you have to reach this target regardless of anything, and they told me that You are good with people, you are good with clients, but you have to be more entrepreneurial. So reaching that point of telling me that I need to focus more on profit rather than the people. So, and that's not me anymore. That's not me. So when I do, there's no point of doing something that doesn't make you happy. And that's the reason why I started building and creating my own. And in 2019, I have established A&R Partners Ltd. And that's just the beginning of my life as an entrepreneur. And as a business owner, we should always remember that I believe in this, that the company's greatest asset are the people working for you, then your clients, then profit. Profit, of course, is very, very important. You cannot disregard that because you need also to make money to keep all expenses running and be able to pay the bills. But make sure that you value your employees more because they will do their work better if you value them. And the second point as an entrepreneur, I believe that you employ people better than you. You should do that. Never be, how do you call this, insecure. Never. As a business owner, it's always good to employ people who have greater ideas, better visions, because you learn from them. And the reason why you're hiring them is you believe in them, that they know better than you. So there is no point being the owner or as an entrepreneur to be insecure in other people's abilities, and make sure that these people are better equipped than you because these will guide you to um, to success because they have better ideas, fresh ideas, and they are better equipped. And these are the people you need to work with and have a USP. So I always believe in this, unless of course that your company is, unless you're actually earning. It is a company. Okay? It's business. But if you're not earning, then it's just a mere hobby. And having a USP means unique selling point. Because let's face it, the market is flooded with so many entrepreneurs. Okay, we have so many people doing wellness. We have so many people doing so many things like what I do, company formation. There's so many people also doing same things that you do. But make sure that you have something that's uniquely yours, because this is going to be the reason why clients will stick with you and would want you. And it's not always an added value to your how do you call this the business that you do. Okay, like many can say I could do this in an instant. I could do this in this I can give you discount. I can do it fast. I am very good. Everyone can have those taglines, but you need to think of something that's uniquely yours. And it's not always an added product. It could be you as a person. It could be your personality. If you are engaging, if you're knowledgeable, then this could be a unique selling point for you. So think of that something that will make you stand out from the others who are providing the same service as you. So as an entrepreneur, this is what I want to share. And when you set up a business, it's important that you also have um, these basics when you set up a company. Before you finally set up a company, it's always important. It could be also for other people, not just for people that you know, because majority of the women listening to me now are actually entrepreneurs already. But it could be some good points you can share with other people. Like for before you can set up a company, you need to have a business idea. What do you want to achieve? Basically, what is the idea behind that business? So there has to be that's something that you want to do basically. So and knowledge or expertise is also important because you can never sell something you do not know. That's important. You cannot you 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 cannot sell something, or you cannot be able to promote anything, or you cannot be able to provide the service you are wanting to offer out there, any product, if you do not know your product. So these things you have to know and understand. And number two is there must be a market or a demand. Like you cannot sell something, or you cannot produce something, offer a service or a product if there's no market. So you need to identify, is it going to be for children? Is it going to be for adults? Is this going to be for everyone? So all these things you have to consider. And also your startup cost. You have to create a business plan as much as possible with the startup cost. What are you willing to shell out? What are you willing to spend for this setup for your business? And what you have to be very disciplined in relation to the budget, because it's important to keep your budget up to that amount only. Do not exceed while you're starting. And also your capital and finance, you have to think of that. You have to think of how much capital are you going to put in this investment, the finances, and also where do you plan to spend, where do you plan to keep, where do you plan to do more. Are you okay with just starting maybe your company in just a single office, and in one office is going to be a flexi desk? So it's all based on the capital that you have. Are you willing to, is your capital okay with hiring 10 people or just 5? So all these you have to consider because of the capital that you have. And competition, this is important also. You have to know your competitors, and competition can be healthy. Trust me. It doesn't, you can help each other in a good way that both of you will flourish. You don't have to look at the other side as like everything textually in a sense of competition. Okay. So you can help each other, but you have to know them as well. So it's important because you will know the strategies that you will use to be able to make your business successful and flourish. And location, where do you want to set up the business? Is it going to be, are you going to think of accessibility, which is important because like for your staff to be able to reach there on time, for your clients convenience, parking space, is it a good place for you to be able to for your clients to visit, like is there parking available? So is it close to a restaurant, a grocery? So it's all dependent on what you want to do. And location is very important specifically for client purposes. It should be able to reach your client. I mean, the client should be able to reach you or be able to visit you anytime. So you have to consider your clients and employees as well when you look for a location. And for the staff, it's important that when you look for staff, it's important that trust is there. Um, Apart from knowledgeable staff, like hiring people better than you have to look into the consideration also of character and the willingness of the staff to learn, the willingness of the staff to make small sacrifices for you, and like what specific nationality. But the most important, but nationality is actually just secondary, but it's it's always important that you consider that you're comfortable working with the people, and then you trust them. There's full honesty and integrity when you choose your staff, because the success of your business lies 80% on your staff. So and would be technology. Like this, we are kind of lucky that we are now in this world where technology is easily available. Like internet is there, and there's so many ways you can reach out to your market or to your audience easily. So how do you call this? It's to our advantage that we need to make use of technology properly and make the most out of it to be able to promote and expand the business that we have. Any questions? I've been talking so
Oh,
much
no.
already.
Yeah, thank you so much for all this information, Rowena. It's yeah, very insightful. I just have one question for you.
Sure.
In your past experiences and decisions, what would
Yes.
you change if you could?
That's a tough question.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a tough question. But I had never realized this that when I was younger, actually, Cardella, when I was younger, I took I took criticisms very personally when I
mm,
was younger, and it really affected the decisions I've made in the past. I made some decisions that I could have done better if I didn't take that criticism very personally. And but at a certain point, it happened maybe because of a reason that I realized this now, and I became better because of that. I should have taken criticisms in a more positive way, that it's not all about me at the end of the day, because that was my belief back then. Like, I am okay, so I'm not good enough, so I'm not this. So I took it very personal that I doubted myself, which shouldn't have been the case. I could have done it better, but I have no regrets in doing that, because I am me now. I became better person because of that mistake in the past,
it's true.
and yeah, that
Well,
situation made me better.
as Lee was saying, entrepreneurship is the journey to self-discovery. I agree that 110%, because being an entrepreneur is basically very different from being an employee.
Yes,
Because
that's
you
true.
make decisions and you meet different people and you meet different challenges. And yeah, that's a good one, Ashley.
That's true. That's true. And you will make mistakes. No one is perfect. That's
Of
true.
course.
It's a journey, because you will there will be situations that you think you could have done better. There will also be business decisions that you could have just simply disregarded, but you did it anyway. But what's most important is you learn from those situations. Do not dwell on it too much, because it already happened. There's no point, and it's done. No point crying over spilled milk. So you just have to go on, but make sure that also that you learn from that experience. You cannot afford to do it again. That's the reason why it happened, for you to learn from that.
Is there anyone who has a question before we end the meeting? Well, yeah. Thank you so much, Chitra, Reno, Asli, for joining.
Yes,
And thank you
thank
all.
you. Thank you, Renu,
Yeah.
Asti, Chitra.
And wishing you all luck and be safe.
Thank you so much, Cardella. Thank
Thank you
you
too,
from the
Rowena.
bottom of my heart. Thank you for this opportunity. You've always been the selfless woman who encourages everyone, every young entrepreneur, a young and old, who's starting out with their business. Thank you for this opportunity, and more power to you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Rowena. And yes, that's all we can do for each other, isn't it? To lift up each other and to be an inspiration to each other as well.
And in my book, I'm grateful for all those people who I've met, who showed me the light, showed me the path, and I'm blessed to have you. I'm grateful for having you, Chitra, and also meeting Renu and meeting Asti. To all of you, you are one of the many blessings that I've received.
Could you tell us, because we're going to post this in the YouTube.
Yeah,
Where can they do and get? Where can they get your books? Your book.
yeah, yeah. It's available on Amazon. They can just quickly go to Amazon worldwide, so it's globally available by Amazon. And also in the Middle East, it's available via PayHip, so it's easier for those in the Middle East to just purchase it via PayHip. And also, one is on our channel's website because she's kind enough to also promote the book on her website. So it's available in all those three. And thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too, and thank you all for tuning in today. Until next week. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.